Welcome to my very simplistic winter home tour starting here in our foyer. Hey, it's Becca and welcome to my channel. I found these prints on Etsy. Just download them and had them printed at Walmart. I think the snow-covered trees are perfect for a winter look. Down below I have my matching lamps and a vase filled with simple winter greens to tie in with the prints above. And yes, that is a dish towel, but it's still a great way to add a pop of color. I shopped the house and brought this piece in from our sitting room where it had been for the last few months. I then filled it with simple baskets and stands. I kept the white chairs here, and then to continue the gray theme or gray and white theme, added these simple pillow covers. Now let's pan on over to the other side. While I was tempted to move the buffet to another room, I decided to keep it here a little while longer. I love the prints so much on the other wall, I did the same ones over here, except I flipped the left and right prints. I then added the window pane mirror to tie in with the glass front cabinet, then brought in this cute horse who had to have a bit of hot glue surgery. I then surrounded him with winter greenery and placed him on yet another dish towel to add in a bit of gray. I also added a bit more color by placing the bases on these pretty plates. And then, as I often do, added a throw to one of the baskets just to bring a bit of the color down there. And I kept the faux hide rug right where it's been. And then turning this way, where I normally have our cabinets, they are gone, exposing a pretty banged up wall, lots of nail holes and mismatched paint. This area is finally getting a fresh coat of paint. The painters are going to fill that lovely hole from our alarm panel, and then they're going to paint the two-story foyer since my husband and I are not about to get on a ladder to do that. And then after that is done, see the board and batten there, I'll finally be able to finish that project, carrying it all the way around on the walls that you see here. All right, now let's go on into the family room. I apologize, I know some of you may have seen the video a couple of weeks ago where I shared this room in more detail, so I'll try to make it quick. Although I do have something new to share in here, this beautiful pair of lamps. I love that they're like a grayish green. They go really well with the cabinets in the kitchen. And then on the back of the sofa, I love adding a faux fur rug to any piece of furniture. It is the perfect way to add that cozy factor, as is smothering your couch with lots of pillows. I kept my barn prints covered in snow, filled the peg rack with blankets, again, just winter cozy on my mind. I then decorated the fireplace with the flocked wreath and trees and brought in the little white ceramic houses, which I think can be used any time of year. Swinging you around this way, I have the bookcase where I have my little houses. I have my canisters filled with book pages and snowballs. Those, I believe, are from Michael's a few years ago. And then I added just a little bit of winter art. That print is from Etsy. And then over on the TV, I love going onto YouTube and typing in winter TV art and just selecting a pretty image for the video. And then I did the same thing on this side that I did over there. It's a little bit of a reverse. It tricks my mind that I'm asymmetrical when I still have that balance. And then coming down here, I have a pair of matching accent chairs. These really pretty gray pillow covers. I shared those in the video before last, but I will link those too. They have a little bit of white in them. They're just the perfect gray. And then turning you around, you'll see our kitchen. Most notably, the difference from Christmas to now is I brought the table back in. It was in our sunroom for the holidays, so it was more of a breakfast room. So I brought this back, and then I kept the spindle chairs at the head and foot of the table. I found these at Goodwill this past fall I got both of them for $20. And then I paired them with these wood crossback chairs for a bit of contrast and warmth. And I feel like it fills the space nicely, and I have our little crystal chandelier up above. And if I take you around this way, you can see for the centerpiece, I have our little houses that match those in the great room, and I filled a simple soup tureen with a winter arrangement. And then coming back here, we have these floating shelves. There used to be a cabinet here, and soon after we moved in, we took it down and opted for open shelves instead. But before we did that, actually, I added this faux brick backsplash. And I love the texture and dimension it gives. Now for winter, all I did was added a few more houses and the little trees that coordinate with the houses. And I brought back these prints that I think I had these here in the fall or summer. They're just very moody, so I feel like it works for winter. And then turning you this way is the kitchen island, where I added just a simple gray and white dish towel, and I brought back this basket and filled it with the rolling pins. Very simple. And then up on the top, added a nice textured basket, lined it with a gray dish towel, and added one little winter pine tree and filled a little bowl with faux apples. And as a little side note, we recently added new bar stools. We had two here before that were falling apart, so we've been waiting for these to come back in stock. I love the crossback design. It ties in with the wood ones we have, and then we also have some in the dining room. I'll just share with you that they tie in with those as well. So I feel like they fit the space fairly well, and it's a nice little addition. And coming over here, we have our baskets there with little plate stands and simple glass bowls, and then I'll slowly turn you this way. I mimicked pretty much what I did on the other shelves, mimicked those over here with the trees and the houses, the moody print, and then coming down, I have another peg rack with more gray towels and warmth with the cutting board and the little scrub brush. And I love this peg rack. And if you're new around here, there used to be a cabinet here as well. This was another one we took down in place for open shelf. And coming down here, added a little basket, brought the lamps back. I usually have these in, well, one in the corner. Another winter green that matches that on the table and the other side. And then I filled this little vase with these little cheese knives. They were from Pottery Barn years ago, but they have the names of different cheeses on there. And then, almost forgot, I love having this mirror here. It is such a great way to bounce the light back into the room. I found that mirror at Dollar General. I think I paid $10 for it. And I don't share this side much, but I mimicked a little bit what I did on the other side as far as the dish towel and the dish strainer, but I have that wood cutting board instead of another basket. I do have a matching basket, but this gives you a better view of what it looks like over on this last little spot is this plate rack. This was a DIY project earlier last year. So for winter, I just added the cutting boards for warmth, simple white plates, and then I added the gray dish towel to tie in with the other gray accents. And then as we slowly turn this way, I'll take you into our dining room. I added this wall mural and its mirror image on the other side of the sideboard a couple of years ago. I really like the landscape scenery and soft color palette. And so that I don't cover it up too much, I try to keep the styling on the shelves pretty simple, like here, just adding pitchers, pedestals, bowls, and a little bit of glass. And then over on the sideboard, the first thing I did was lean this piece of art against the mirror. It's a new find, and I love how textured it is. Can you see? It's very simple, and I feel like that's what makes it great for layering or adding as a backdrop. I then brought up this oversized glass vase from the basement, added a few winter stems. I really love the green and white mixed together with that little bit of brown. Then added a couple of candles and yet another dishcloth. And then walking over here, we have another pair of shelves and duplicate styling like I did on the other side because I am slightly obsessed with symmetry. And then over on the table, we have one precious ivy. And where I had snowflake napkin rings, I brought out my snowflake plates for winter. They're just a really simple design, the snowflake trim and the one in the middle. I paired it with our silver and gold stemware. And just a little tip, whenever I only have 4 plates, like I have them there and there, I don't have enough for the head and the foot, I'll do something different there. See, I have the salad plate version at the head, going slowly, and the foot. And lastly in this room is this area here with the buffet and the shelf. Down here on the tabletop, I added a pitcher filled with winter greens and branches. This little cake stand and cloche that I added some faux treats to. And then candles. Gray, white, and beige and white towels fill the peg rack. Because I have the landscape print that ties in with the one on the other side of the room, I allowed that to be my color, and in the front just placed simple white pitchers and glassware. Now let's go on over to the sunroom. I shared this room more in depth, like a decorate with me, last week, so I promise not to keep you in here too long. I had made a comment how I knew a lot of you were not going to agree with my placement of the canvas in front of the window, and surprisingly, several of you actually liked it, and I think it's because the scene mimics a scene that is outside. I then added more snowy trees to each side of the canvas. All of this is set on my favorite console table. This is such a fun and versatile piece to style. And then flanking the console table are these cabinets. They are a recent purchase from IKEA. And as you can tell, once again, symmetry rules my world. The last stop on our little tour is our front sitting room. This room also got a bit of a refresh after the holidays. It used to have the desk in here and 2 accent chairs, so I took those away, and then we brought in these 2 matching love seats for a nice cozy conversation area. I then brought in a pair of matching accent tables and lamps, adding the little tassels as a fun embellishment. I recently purchased these window pane pillow covers, added the gray for a bit of contrast, all for hopefully a cozy winter look. The coffee table is back from downstairs, and let me just say, everyone needs a dough bowl in their life. They are such a fun accent piece to decorate. Now, over on the bookcases, kept it pretty simple. I left the baskets filled with winter greens that I had at Christmas, one being on the bottom shelf and one on the top for balance. I also kept my glass jugs, but then I brought in the white bowls. Down below, this really pretty ceramic jug is a new addition. I opted for these little glass bowls to tie in with the glass jugs, and then added the black and white plates that match those in the foyer. Over on the fireplace, I brought back this mantle I made a couple of years ago. It's out of 1x6s that I just nailed together and then stained. And for winter, just placed black metal candlesticks on top. And then over on this side, you'll see I have the identical pillow covers that I do on the other love seat. And then up above, these prints were spaced out a bit more. They flanked a cabinet that I had in place of the love seat, so I centered them over that piece just for a new look. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll be back next time with either a DIY project or we'll be diving right into Valentine's Day decor, doing a little shopping, and then spreading some love around the house. Thanks again. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.